Hi, I'm Lynn, and here's what's happening at Ewetopia Farms today. Does every one of you have to walk over that? Oh, there's always a reason for everything. So let's get started. So our daily routine now involves letting the yearling replacement ewes out to the field to run around and eat some grass. And if you saw the previous videos, they were a little reluctant to come out here, but now they're spread out all over the paddock area here. And then in the afternoon we put them back in and let the rams back onto the platform where they can run around. We still have a shortage of space everywhere. That's why we're doing things in little rotational steps. But we're getting close. Oh, honey, I don't think the locust trees are good to eat because they have prickles. But once they get used to a routine, they're usually quite happy with it. Oh, did something get knocked over? That's a scary thing, isn't it? This ewe looks fantastic, this Dorset ewe right here, because she hasn't had a lamb for 2 years. I'm thinking she's a hermaphrodite or something like that, because there should be no reason she didn't. So yeah, your most beautiful ones sometimes aren't always your best. I'm guessing she's not going to be staying here. But that's why she looks fantastic. Because if you're not having babies, you don't have any pressures on you. As all mothers can verify that having babies does just amazing things to your body. And not in a good way. Does every one of you have to walk over that? Can you not see everyone tripping over it? See how they group together still too? Whites with whites. Hi, you look beautiful. All of you do. Oh my goodness. Come on, join the rest. That's right. I'm gonna go move those little things. Hi girls, how you doing? We've got the adult Dorsets out in the field with the rat bales. They seem to be keeping away from them. The lambs tend to want to check them out and chew on them, but these girls are being well behaved. Hey girls, how you doing? You look very pretty. Okay, there's a blimp going over here. I've never seen this in my life. I'm gonna see if I can get my drone up. What the hell? What is that? Okay, I came out to the field for Arnie picking up bales of hay so that I could practice my drone skills, and it restricted me. Said I needed an updated license. It was supposed to last for 72 hours and it lasted for 1 day. It's very frustrating because our whole farm, the reason I got it was to film around the farm and what we do around the farm, and I can't fly here and therefore I can't practice here. And yeah, I'm beginning to wish that I never bought one again, like the GoPro. It's very, very frustrating. I don't know if I'm jinxed or what it is, but we're back to the manual telephone method. And here comes Arnie now. with the wagons. He just brought one load in. This will be the end of this field, and then we're supposed to get some rain, so we want the rain to come, believe it or not, because it has been a while. It's been cold and windy and cloudy, not good hay weather, but recently it hasn't been raining, so as a result, anything that needs rain, for instance, my garden and the fields that do have crops in, they need a bit of rain right now. So we're happy for the rain to be coming in and actually hope that it does hit. It's supposed to hit tomorrow night. So we got a lot of time. But he's got to pick up the last of these bales. He says they're pretty tough, meaning that they're heavy and fairly wet bales, but they should ferment nicely. But pushing them out in the feeders is always more difficult when they're really wet. But for those of you who've never seen this part of our farm, the loading and picking up of the wrap bales, this is how we do it. And these will be brought home, and ideally they say that they should be wrapped within 4 hours. So that's why he's been doing this field in little pieces. He's only one person, so he can only do so much in a day. So what he does is he does it in strips, and that way all the prime conditions can be met for the hay. Getting them done in 4 hours, if he did the entire field, would not be possible. Whereas this way he can do it all at once. So we just split the field into sections and get the hay done that way. It's the only thing we can do without help, and we don't have help here. Some of you might say, Lynn, why don't you learn how to drive a tractor? Well, if you know me and you know Arnie, I have tried to drive the tractor, but I've never used a stick shift before, and I need someone who's patient and kind and tolerant to teach me, and that didn't work. And then I'm so nervous with his equipment. The reason he doesn't have people helping him is that he basically doesn't want people on his equipment and breaking it. And heaven help if I was the one to break it. So it's not that I don't want to help, but I help with other things. I make sure that when he's done his stuff, he doesn't overlap and have to do any of the stuff that I do. So there's always a reason for everything. That's the reason I couldn't record the blimp with my drone either. I went to the field to try record the blimp, but it wouldn't let me take off from our yard either. extremely frustrating. So now he's got to hook up the tractor to the wagons and pull the wagons over into the group of bales. It's a lot quicker than I'm going back and forth with the tractor every time. So he's picked up the ones on the far perimeter, and now he's gonna move into the group of bales here. Of course, I'm constantly backlit, so I'm gonna move positions once he stops here. You can see on the road there, I don't know if you caught him. Someone else is driving down the road with wagons and a tractor picking up hay. When there's a window for one, there's a window for all, and everyone will be doing the same job at the same time when it comes to farming. They all know a storm is coming in, and the hay has got to be wrapped up and put away before that happens. gets the wagons filled, he's going to head back home with that, unload it, and come back for the rest. Probably maybe 2 more loads. Well, that's a wrap for our first cut hay, first field. Still more to come, but it's a start, and a start we've been waiting quite a while for. The drone footage, don't worry, I'm not going to be flooding our videos with drone footage. I just wanted to get a little bit of practice in while I still was able to fly, because they keep cutting me off because of being in a restricted zone and I don't have much time to practice. But don't worry, that's just today's long version of my drone flight, and from now on it'll be just as needed, if I can even get it up. So thanks for joining us again today. Wish us luck that we get our hay off totally in all the other fields, but maybe things are looking up. Thanks for joining us. Bye for now.